Cultivating Harmony. Today I wanted to speak more about the pericardium and its connection to intimacy and vulnerability. Since summer has now peaked since the solstice here in the northern hemisphere, and before things start to take a turn and really start heading for late summer, I want to take a little bit more time to talk about the pericardium because I find it to be something that's really maybe overlooked and not as often talked about, but is really imperative to our human connection. The pericardium, or what is also called the heart protector or the gatekeeper for the heart, it's also translated as the heart circulator, is one of the extraordinary meridians. And as I often talk about on my channel, right, when we speak about organs in Chinese medicine, we're not talking about the literal structures or organs how we do in Western medicine. These are not the same things. These are energetics. So just to continue, we know that the heart is the emperor of our selves. It governs or rules our mind, our spirit, our consciousness, something that is translated from the word shen in Chinese. The pericardium's job is to really act as a barrier or the first line of defense, safeguarding the heart from any type of invasion, trauma, emotional disturbances, and external influences. Being the gatekeeper, its job is to protect the emperor. So if the gate is too open, we can understand that the emperor is at risk of invasion and being harmed. And how this plays out for us is that these are the type of people who are too open, they're too vulnerable. Their feelings are easily hurt and they're kind of the oversharers, if you will. I think we've all kind of met these people that talk and talk and talk and talk and share more than you care to listen to, right? Because the gate gets stuck open, it gives anyone and everyone the access to what's really in that person's mind, consciousness, heart, and it allows people who are not deserving the ability to access us and to potentially hurt us. So this really isn't a healthy pericardium just being wide open. And now, of course, yes, we should allow those who are close to us, that love us, that treat us well, who earn our love and respect and trust, appropriate entry into our lives and our hearts. So another thing that I talk about on this channel and in reference to Chinese medicine is that a lot of it is not just about set rules and things, but it's about the idea of appropriateness, right? It's not really appropriate to share all your dirty laundry with some person you just met on the street today, right? It's just not really appropriate. Now, in the opposite way as well is considered a disharmony, right? So if we are too closed off, not open at all, we never allow entry of others into our hearts, not even the people that we're very close to. We end up feeling isolated, detached, joyless. And it's also a common thing to actually swing between these two extremes. We'll fall in love very quickly with someone we just met, and it's kind of, we talk about agitation with the heart as well, but we share everything and we just get so deeply involved, and even when the other person hasn't shown enough or there hasn't been enough time, right, for it to be appropriate to be kind of moving that quickly or getting that deep that quickly. And then let's say the relationship ends up going bad, and then boom, we swing to the other end where we shut down. We close ourselves off, we build walls, and we are no longer open to doing it again, and so consequently will end up blocking their hearts off and find it very difficult to reopen and be willing to be vulnerable and put themselves out there again. Gate swings wide open and then something happens and it slams shut and it gets stuck, and we just aren't able to really move past this. We should be able to open up when it's appropriate. So even if we've been hurt before, even if we've had bad experiences, we should have a good understanding of what things we require from a relationship, what types of commitments and boundaries and things like this, and timetables for it to be appropriate to have access to different levels or depths of our heart. So the pericardium's balanced, harmonious energy really supports the expression of desire and love within a relationship. Being emotionally open and receptive can lead to authentic expression of affection and passion. And it allows for the emotional vulnerability and intimacy that is required in a romantic relationship. Emotional intimacy is crucial for establishing deep connection and bonds with those closest to us, and especially with our partner, and cultivating a fulfilling, intimate relationship. And let's not forget, and if you haven't already seen some of my summer videos where I talk a lot about the summer, the fire element, the heart, I will link them. But the heart is connected to not only just the pericardium in Chinese medicine, but also the shen, right, which we talked about earlier, is the kind of mind, spirit, consciousness. It's our mental health, our mental states, our mood. But specifically for women, it also rules the uterus and the reproductive organs. So we can easily see then, or make the connection of the feelings of love, openness, connection, vulnerability would potentially have, a good influence on a woman's feelings of intimacy, satisfaction, orgasm, fertility, menstrual cycles, and in general, her mental state. And we know this is not really a new concept, right? Think back to Freud and how they treated women with hysteria. Even back then, they could observe a connection between sexual satisfaction and mental stability in women. And this falls under the rulership of the heart, or the fire element. So going back to the pericardium, pericardium's job is to protect the heart, allowing safe, deserving people into our hearts. We like qi and everything in Chinese medicine to flow. We don't like any type of blockages or stagnation. So we can understand that if all these things are flowing nicely, we should have good experiences. How can we support our pericardium then, according to Chinese medicine? So I think it's really important to reflect on how open and vulnerable we make ourselves to others. Are you appropriately allowing access to those around you and romantic partners, to yourself and to your heart? Or do you maybe allow people access when they haven't earned it or deserved it yet? I think especially in this day and age, right? Moving too quickly, doing things too soon. Just reflect on, would it be a better idea, or would I feel happier or more satisfied if I held back a little bit? Not to say that you're not sharing, but just to kind of take things step by step and not rush into things or give too much of yourself. Now, on the flip side, are you not opening up or being vulnerable enough? Like I said, after we've had negative experiences, a lot of times we shut down. We will flip the switch from on to off, and that's it. And it's very easy to see in some people more than others. There's no emotional connection, or especially nothing deep or of substance at all. They have built the walls, they shut it down, turned off the lights, it's gone. So are you opening up enough? Have you built those walls up around you? Do you not share a lot about yourself or your life with others? Or even kind of avoid conversation, or even specific conversations, right, that might make you feel more vulnerable, so you just kind of cut that out before it even begins. So maybe just kind of take a look at, in what things can I share about myself? In what ways can I be more open, where it would in fact be appropriate to share these types of things with the right people? So the next important thing is setting boundaries. It's very good to have healthy boundaries. We all need them. It's where we end and the other person begins. And this isn't even just about romantic partners. So practicing this even just with close friends and family actually would be helpful for the pericardium as well. But our friends and family even, and our romantic partners, are all people who we let into our hearts to some extent. So just making sure that you're setting boundaries and maintaining healthy boundaries make for better and happier and more fulfilling relationships as well. So my next suggestion is to work on clearly speaking and communicating your emotions, your needs, your wants, your thoughts, your feelings. Speech specifically is related to the heart in Chinese medicine, right? Because it's connected to the tongue. But when we can verbally communicate, or even verbally communicate our boundaries, right? We can connect to the previous one. When we can verbally set these boundaries and requirements, then we can allow others to make the decision if they wish to meet our desires and be allowed entry. So my last suggestion is to work through trauma. Now, in Chinese medicine, we know that really any type of trauma has the potential to shock the heart, right? And since it is the pericardium's job to actually protect the heart, when this basically fails and the pericardium can't protect the heart and shock happens. This is really something, you know, you can work through with acupuncture. Another possibility about heart shock, right, is actually also heartbreak, right? So maybe there is a death of a loved one unexpectedly, or even any type of breakup, separation, divorce. These things can all cause harm to our heart, and sometimes the pericardium, it's too much for. So the pericardium is suffering and we should support it. So we can work on some of the suggestions that I had already mentioned, as well as getting acupuncture and making sure that we're being aware of our conduct and eating the correct foods for the heart in general. Let me know below in the comments what you think about the pericardium and if you've ever heard of this before. Thanks, we'll see you guys next time.